Bob, if you're watching now, now you're going live. Before it was being saved and going out tomorrow at 10 a.m., but now I'm going live. The district appeals court rules Trump's birthright order unconstitutional. District court concluded, how did they conclude? That the executive order's proposed interpretation denying citizenship to many persons born in the United States is unconstitutional. We fully agree, the ruling says. Yeah, okay, that's the first step. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I said it before, you're not going to like what the ruling is going to come down from the Supreme Court. You're not going to like it. Gould wrote that the administration's defense utilized a network of inferences that are unmoored from the accepted legal principles of 1868 when the 14th Amendment was ratified. Now, let's take this book out without collapsing everything. And please don't fall all over the place with that. I want to pick it up right now. Right here. Can you see it? This is the original meaning of the 14th Amendment. 458 pages of documents and letters of interpretation and intent of what the 14th Amendment was all about. And more so about what the rights were on birthrights. Now, if the court were to look at that data, they look at it. What was the intent of the 14th Amendment when it came to this? They're not going to look at anything else in the 14th Amendment except birthrights. And they're going to read it, and they're going to say, okay, this is what it says. Any person born in the... boom, boom. But what was the meaning behind that? I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be happy with it. This might be a 6-3, 5-4 decision. Trump's going to win it. My question is, how do you enforce it now? And my looking at it would say, okay, you won. Trump, you won. You're absolutely correct in that. So after July 27th, anyone born of non-documented persons. Remember, all it takes is one person to be documented or have legal status here. Marry a U.S. citizen, that child, that baby would have rights. Fly in from China and have a baby here. Just to have a baby here. Being illegal that has no documentation, nothing, or had that documentation pulled. And this is where I said sovereignty, not jurisdiction, is going to be the key issue with the 14th Amendment, is sovereignty. If you came from England and you came here illegally, who would have the rights to you in a legal dispute? England. Because that's where you came from. You're not a citizen of the United States. You haven't renounced officially that you are removing your sovereignty and then coming under the jurisdiction of. And I think that's where the big play is going to be. It's not going to be jurisdiction. Because I only get jurisdiction of you when you give up your sovereign rights to another country. And if you don't do it through the legal process, I don't know. You say you gave up your rights? I have no idea. Can you show me in writing when you did that? No, you can't? Then don't count, baby. And that's what's going to happen. And you know what? It did not take a legal scholar to get there. And Bob, when that happens, I want you to remember this moment. And if it doesn't happen, if it goes the other way, Bob, I want you to come to me and go, I want you to remember this moment. Because, see, I'm fair and reasonable. I let the robes decide. No, I want you to know I'll be throwing things against the wall. But, the court agrees that the president cannot redefine what it means to be an American with the stroke of a pen. I'm going to tell you, yeah, he does. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown said in a statement to USA Today, he cannot strip away the rights, liberties, and protections of children born in our country. Yeah, he can. And come July 27th, you're going to find out exactly what he can do. Now, you people coming live to me here, you came up live 7 minutes ago because I didn't see that. I should have clicked on something else. Supreme Court says Trump can proceed with firing of Democrats appointed to the Consumer Protection Safety Commission, who were fired, then reinstated, and now gets to be fired again. Because the Supreme Court said, no, he's the president. He, for the list of the reasons that he can state, and it doesn't say anywhere in there that he has to prove that. It just says they're ineffective. Now, everyone screamed and yelled, and the Supreme Court has made their decision. As any of you intellectually minded people know, I'm going to move this book out because I've made that point already. When the robes rule on the Constitution, that's it. There's no appeal. There's no appealing what the judges agree to. As long as it's a not a unanimous, as long as it's a balanced 5-4. That's it. The Supreme Court can revisit a ruling. Very rare, but they do it. Roe v. Wade being one of them. There was a couple more instances where the courts have said, yeah, they got it wrong. So Roe v. Wade was one of them. That's the way it goes for them. That's the way it goes. I said before, one of the people on there was Richard Trumka Jr., whose father was a huge AFL-CIO guy. Very connected, with unions. A person that came up in the Jimmy Hoffa era. And now his son Richard Jr. I think became an attorney, and I'm not saying that he was a bad guy or anything, but he was certainly slanted towards a liberal agenda. And again, that's again, as long as it falls within the scope of what he's allowed to do, liberal or conservative, they still got to go by that playbook. So I never paid too much attention to a lot of that, but Trumka, yeah, you knew there was a lot of juice going his way. That's all I'm saying. Federal judge rules on Trump's request to unseal Epstein's grand jury transcript. Again, I went through this. Those transcripts are meant to be very secretive for a reason. Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure 6E. Look it up in Google. Google it. Really makes it very, very difficult to make that information known, one, to the public. It's unbelievably hard. But it's even hard when an attorney doing another case wants to look at that and examine it. Unless you know where in that testimony from the grand jury or information you know what you're looking for. Courts would say 99% of the time, nope. If you want to go fishing, the ocean's that way. You have to be very, very spot on for a judge to unveil the secrecy of a grand jury. It's meant to be secret for a reason. It protects the people giving testimony. It protects confidential informants. And it protects people who would be afraid of being persecuted, either by the government or by industry or by anyone else, almost like a whistleblower. It gives them protection. Then my next thing was everything Colbert. And USA Today went on to say, well, we're going to investigate whether it's political or not. Probably the most uninformed news article. Other than, I'll talk about what else. And they announced Late Show as a result. That Colbert's announcement last week that CBS would discontinue the Late Show wasn't discontinue. You could still do the Late Show. You could do the Late Show from your basement. Just that's going to go up on CBS. You could change it to Almost Late Show, Just About Late Show. No one's going to question you on that, Stephen. You just weren't renewed. And in the real world, if you have a contract with someone and it expires, it's up to that other company or entity to say whether or not we're going to give you another contract, we're going to extend it a year, keep the terms all the same, whatever. But a company going, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to renew. Could it be political? You bet it could. Is it illegal? You bet it's not. If during litigation, and I said use this example, I go to the company, I'll accept your 16 million and your 30 million from over here. We're good. I'll settle this. Oh, by the way, Colbert has to go. And the company goes, well, we don't. And I go, I won't take the 15 or 16 million. I won't take the 30 million. We'll go back to court. I'll sue you for $1 billion. I have children. I have grandchildren. Soon, I'm sure I'll have great grandchildren. The case will continue. Someone will end up paying them. And they go back and forth, and they go, all right, Colbert's gone. Okay. Done. Now, that wasn't written anywhere that we have seen. Could that have been mentioned to lawyers? Yeah. That's not a bribe, folks. That's called litigation. Now, there was no bribe here. But no one wants to use the word extortion because that will have people suing you right and left. If Trump had said, you know what, you're going to give me all this money and you're going to get rid of him, or I'm going to sick the FCC on you. Listen, I got my people there. You want this Skydance deal to go through? You'll have to plant me before that happens. That would be extortion. And Trump's lawyers would have to agree to that. Skydance lawyers would have to agree to that. CBS lawyers would have to agree to that. Paramount lawyers would have to agree to that. You think they're all going to agree to extortion? Or a big fat bribe? Nope. And I said before, should either... and they said, well, his show was in the top rated shows at 11:30 Eastern Standard / Pacific time, because we'd show it 3 hours later. It was losing about $40 million the last couple of years. So what USA Network said, well, that was partially a true statement. What part of $40 million of losses is partially true? So, screw you, USA, you're biased. My personal belief, the CBS should either terminate for cause Colbert or suspend airing his show and pay him until the contract expires. Colbert, if left on the air, will cause a crisis with either the FCC or make a libelous statement which CBS Paramount would have to defend. Why should they take the risk? Just cut this anchor loose. Just cut it loose. Pay him his money. Send him on his way. He might make the argument that this already has increased his viewership. And I'm sure it has. I am certain it will. But sponsors are going to be running for the hills. No one wants to be tied to this guy. This guy is now bad news. And no one wants to be attached to bad news. So, he might increase his viewership, but it won't translate the dollars for the company to say, all right, now we're making money, maybe we'll revisit this. Remember, they could change their mind on the in May and sign him up. And that's a business decision. The CBS morning host, Tony Dokoupil, is pushing back on liberal outrage towards his network's cancellation of the Late Show. He said the business is broken, got too political, was too one-sided. They didn't go with the change of the political landscape, and like the dinosaurs, bye-bye. Bye-bye. And that was from CBS Morning co-host Tony Dokoupil, Dokoupil. Now, The View, not News with a View, made an outrageous statement, more outrageous than I make. And this is Sonny Hostin, warns Colbert's cancellation could lead to the dismantling of our Constitution. What a stupid woman you are. Because I never elected Colbert to the Late Show. And I don't think anyone appointed him from the political landscape. So how the hell is this going to affect the Constitution of the United States or our democracy? You stupid, stupid woman. And she went on to say that if politics were involved, then the fabric of our democracy could be in jeopardy. I don't know what type of fabric you wear, sweetheart, but you're a moron. Moron wear? Whatever. You might be the stupidest woman on earth. She went on to say, my concern is if it's political, then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned. Because it's very clear that if it's political, this is dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? Where in the freaking Constitution does it say the Colbert Show, or a TV show, or a play, or a movie? You stupid, stupid woman. You make everyone that you associate with look stupid. And Hostin said, to a cheering audience of fucking monkeys with cymbals. And the word is that Jimmy Kimmel is next to go in the untalented late night sweepstakes, and shortly thereafter, Jimmy Fallon will be gone. That was posted by Trump on Trump Media, on his Trump channel. Interesting stuff. An appeals court rules that Trump's birthright order is unconstitutional, blah, 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 blah. Gould wrote that the administration's defense utilized a network of inferences that are unmoored from the accepted legal principles of 1868 when the 14th Amendment was ratified. Read this book. If you take Ambien, you won't need to, because this book will put you to sleep. But this gives you the original meaning of the 14th Amendment. And it's not a biased meaning. It takes all letters that are in the files for the Constitution in the Library of Congress. That the people that were involved in the formula for making the 14th Amendment, and it was a formula, all their pros and cons and their carve-outs, and they go, okay, you want this, we want that, take this in, take this out. Trump is going to win this argument. and you're not going to be happy about it. All right? That was a rehash of my show today. I probably will edit this tomorrow, but as of right now, you got 25 minutes of actual airtime, and the rest will go out at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I think. I don't know. I hit something and it was going for tomorrow. And then I saw a little thing on YouTube that said, "Do you want to go live now?" Click. I thought I was going out live. I didn't realize it was recording it for playback later. Live and learn. Like I said, this was after going out for 4 hours to Socrates Station and coming back and doing a show. It is almost 1 a.m. on the 24th. And with that, I'll be saying good night. Give to a charity if you can. Charity does begin at home. You go to that charity. Don't have that charity come to you. Don't be a victim helping a victim. If you're uncomfortable with that, or you just don't feel like doing that, think about giving food, clothing, paper products, diapers, clothing to a local charity or food bank. You might not think a couple of cans means a lot, but the people that don't have that means everything. Think about that. Say a prayer. Prayer does work. I'm a living example of it. And with that, I'm going to say good night. I will edit this in the morning and push it out for the 24th. Right now, I'm done for the night. And with that, I'm going to hopefully fade to black.